Hi, my name is James Johnson. I'm Operations Facilities Director at Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, and welcome to Booker T.
It's been an amazing project. This is a community knotted quilt project. Basically, we have seniors from Rosa Parks Senior Center and seniors from the neighboring community, and we're all coming together, and even some seniors from Dr. George W. Davis. We're all coming together producing these knotted community quilt pieces. People are sharing their stories, their history, they're sharing all of their experiences on these quilts.
Last week, we started talking about this project. It's called the Knotted Quilt Project, a very old technique. It probably is even older than sewing. So I bought needle and thread. This is how you make the traditional quilt. The quilt that we're making is a technique where you take fabric, and when you take the fabric pieces, people used to take their clothing, like shirts or pants or dresses, cut them up and put these fingers, I call them fingers, around. This quilt could be the size of a football field. It could just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow.
They receive a square fabric quilt square, and with that quilt square, they can actually take that and do drawings, paintings, or actually write out significant things about their history. And these, all of these things are going to get tied together for us to produce a larger quilt, which is going to be something that the entire community can actually see. So everybody's involved in the creative process of making this.
My name is Barbara Ann Wilson.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your history?
I came to San Francisco in the 60s. I lived at 2550 Sutter Street, which is a few blocks down the street from the Booker T. Washington Community and Service Center, where I am right now. Went to Gallo High School, graduated from there, and got married and moved to Anchorage, Alaska. My children were born at the Presidio military base during the Vietnam War, and my son was born in Anchorage, Alaska at one of the military hospitals there. I also came back and was employed at the University of California, San Francisco for over 37 years. I enjoyed being at the Booker T. When I was here in the 60s, it was one building, it was a gym. And they had a lot of events here for the African American community. I enjoyed coming here with my family and my cousins that I live with. It's been quite an asset to the community, and I'm glad that the city was able to restore it and make it into a beautiful place that we're here now.
I'm Dorothy Cook, and I'm attending a art class, and we're learning to make quilts. And I'm going to put the history of two churches that were built by my ancestors and make a wall hanging.
I'm Greg Ledbetter. I'm a native San Franciscan. I was born and raised here, first in the Ingleside area, and then I came here to the Fillmore area. Currently sit on the Behavioral Health Board as a commissioner, and pretty active in our community activities here in the Western Addition. I'm grateful and thankful that we have a community center up here at Booker T that is all-inclusive and loving of anyone that wants to participate up here. I first came here some 3 years ago, and it too has evolved. Our Director Secure has started, well, she's our new director, I should say, has started to implement some of our ideas, and the community center is really turning into a wonderful place to be.
Booker T's been in Fillmore for over 100 years. It's been at this location for 70 years. What we have continually tried to do here at Booker T is create an environment where people from being babies up to seniors can come here and receive services. One of the most coolest services that we can provide to people is enjoyment, right? So what we find is that when we have these cool programs like the quilting program, you are giving people not just a reason to get outside the house, but a fun reason to get outside their house and come to this space and have fun with each other. Because a lot of what we want to encourage people to do is socialize amongst each other. We want people to share stories and connect on a deeper level than just, hey, we just happen to stay in the same area. We want people to know that, hey, we are a community and we all have shared experiences and that we have shared wants at the end of the day. And we want to house that here at Booker T. So programs like the quilting program that we have going on right now is amazing. I think it hits all the goals that we want to do here at Booker T, and I'm looking forward to seeing this program continue to grow and flourish.
My name is Rietta Anderson. I am a longtime resident here in San Francisco, but I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the Blackstreet Wall Street exists. My mom brought myself here with my siblings. It was 8 of us, 4 girls, 4 boys. She brought us here about 1962. I've been here ever since. She brought us here for a good education, which I got. And I have had children here, married here, so my life has been a pretty good life here in San Francisco. Now I am a senior here, and I take advantage of some of the community programs that they have here in San Francisco, and I'm really enjoying myself because it gives the seniors something to do and somewhere to go and a purpose.
My name is Catherine Martin Ullman. I am a native San Franciscan. I was born at Mary's Help Hospital, and I basically always come back to San Francisco because it draws me in. I've traveled a little bit. When I was married, I lived out of the area, but there's something about San Francisco that has my heart, and it always will.
My name is Brian Freeman. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, and I first came to San Francisco in 1977. And I came here on vacation to visit my great aunt Edith, who was also born on the East Coast, but moved here during the war and got a job with the military, working at the Presidio. But I got to know her a little bit when she'd come visit back east, and she said, come hang in San Francisco. It's a great place. So I did. When I had 2 weeks vacation from my job, I came out here and stayed with her, and I liked it. And went back to Boston to do my job, and then 6 months later, decided to move out here because it was a happening place. So.
Deborah Brooks. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I came here because I got married. I came out on a trip, and the guy that I met, we communicated, and he came to Cleveland, and we got married within that year. I came out here in 1976. That's telling my age, but I don't care. Anyway, I love San Francisco. I love the climate compared to Cleveland. But when I came out in 76, it rained for 40-some days straight.
William Kennedy. I was born and raised in Gainesville, Texas. I went to Booker T. Washington High School. I graduated from there in 1959. I went into the military at 17 years old. I stayed for 4 years, and then I decided to take a course at Balboa Hospital for civilian life. I was a corpsman, and then when I was discharged, I decided to become an RN. I am an RN today. I worked at St. Luke's Hospital for 42 years. I retired there, and I've just been doing a lot of community service. I would go to glides, and I'd sometimes go into the after schools program because I like working with kids. Well, young men, you know, these kids were wonderful. They were A and B students. We would do critical analysis of some of their essays and their short stories. And I just like seeing people excel. And I was telling Erwin that in my high school, there was no such thing as special needs. What happened is I had teachers, and 2 of them are still alive today. So what would happen if someone was falling behind? We would go in class on Sundays just to make sure that no one is left behind. And even today, 2 of my teachers know it's my first, middle, and last name. I remember all of my teachers at Booker T. And I was just telling Aaron, it seemed like today the kids don't enjoy going to school, but we did. We just loved going to school. And we had fun going to school. And my teachers were absolutely wonderful. It's sort of like they were role models for some of us who grew up without fathers in their homes, single-parent homes. So if we had any problems, we would go to the male teachers and talk it over with my principal. And his name was Mr. V.P. Douglas. He was a principal in a high school. And I guess that's all I can say. And my first degree I received at San Francisco State was a Bachelor of Science in Health Education. And then I matriculated there, and I went to Holy Names University, and I received a BSN and a Master's from Holy Names University. And now I'm retired, and I'm just having fun.
Daniel, and I'm originally from Alabama, and I came to San Francisco in 1961, and I came to California in 1961. I originally lived in LA for 6 years. Then I came to San Francisco in 1967. Been here ever since. I worked and retired from Macy's after 42 years. And I am the craft lady of the city.
You notice many changes in San Francisco compared to when you first got here?
Oh yes, they had a Greyhound bus station. There was a Winterland, who was right down the street near the Macedonia Baptist Church. There was a theater on the corner there of Fillmore. There's so many changes. Fillmore Street was like going to Las Vegas. The Fillmore Street was on Saturday. You could come out and just watch the people dressed, going into the different clubs. And it was just a beautiful adventure to just be a part of. So there's been so many changes. It seems like that today in 2022, the changes are like weekly. So before they were like gradually happening, but now there's weekly changes in the city.
And what is your experience or feelings about Booker T. Washington Community Center?
I feel that it's such an asset to our community. It's helping so many senior citizens able to come out and to fellowship and to be with one another and to explore, and also to get mental health issues and crises taken care of just by being in this community. And I call Booker T. Washington a community, and that's what it is. I think Shakira, for what she's done to bring beautiful staff on, that they're so pleasant with all of us, and we come here, they're so accommodating to us, and we continue, you know, it starts at the top, so we continue to love one another.
But a lot of changes has been going on around here in San Francisco. One, the big changes is the demographics. You see a lot of different diversity going on in the neighborhoods. It's not totally just one demographics or one ethnic group in the neighborhoods. They are mixing. I mean, it's very diverse in the city, and that's a good thing. I think it is, because we all need to be our individual selves and be different.
Changes on top of changes. The city, San Francisco's always changing. It was changed. It's been changing from the minute it was founded back in the 1800s, and it just changes all the time. So, I mean, there's, you know, the change in who is right now and who is able to live here and who is able to be a part of San Francisco. San Francisco is tough on Black people. It's tough on all kinds of people, but it's especially tough on Black people because the economics of the city are so extreme. There's so much wealth here in the area, and so little of that is held by African American people, although Black people have been here from the get doing the work. And so it's just been, I mean, it's sort of the same story all over the country, but it's especially pronounced right here in San Francisco and right here in this neighborhood in particular. That used to be the Fillmore Western Addition at one time was a very vibrant African American neighborhood. Yeah, but so many of the residents have been driven out by the economics of it.
Well, I'm 60 years old, so there's been some major changes here in San Francisco. A lot of gentrification, a lot of people being moved out of the city, and the changes that have been going on so far, the buildings and housing and the whole general look of San Francisco and feel has changed.
Tremendously. The buildings are not the same, the people are not the same, but I'm still here. Thank the Lord, I'm still here.
Any changes in San Francisco compared to when you first got here?
Yes, St. Francis Cathedral was not here when I came here to San Francisco in 1965. Bank of America was not here when I came here in 1965. Even the hospital that I worked at was only a 3-story building. Now it has moved up to a community center now. It has over 250 beds. At that time when I started working there, it was only like a 3-story building. And I would go down on Fillmore sometime on 19th of June, and I can remember we used to do that, you know, at home. 19th of June we used to have a parade. However, there was a different parade, 4th of July and 19th of June. But as I watched the city grow a lot. You know, there has been a lot of changes, you know, but you have to move along with the changes. But otherwise, I'm just hanging and having a good time. Next month, I will be 81 years old. Thank you. I have a lot of people say, well, you don't sound like it. Well, I don't know what 81 sounds like. I'm just hanging in there, just trying to have a good time and just be respectful and kind to other people.
Neighborhoods have changed, which surprised me, some neighborhoods. I'm from the Ingalls side, which is right down from Lakeview, and they have a lot more. Ocean Avenue used to be more of a mom and pop things, you know, smaller, independent, and now it's got more kind of corporate things, and they have bigger buildings there. That was a surprise to me. My school's still there, Santa Media and Farragut are still there, that's nice. So I have noticed changes in a lot of the areas, and then other areas, Outer Sunset. You know, if you go out to the Outer Mission, those have stayed pretty much the same, except the pricing of the houses hasn't stayed the same, which is too bad, you know. A lot of people I know are left the area, they couldn't stay here. I'm bound and determined to be here. They're gonna drag me out of here kicking and screaming. For a fair warning, okay? I'm going to be here.
The Fillmore has really changed. I came in just as it was beginning to change, and it has really changed. I've moved 3 times, but I moved around in the same area in the Western Addition because I love this area. I wouldn't live anywhere else in San Francisco if, you know, I had to.
My contribution was positive affirmations, you know. I'm big on being positive. I try to practice that every day, and so I just incorporated some positive affirmations on the quilt. Is my part.
For the quilt, it's about family. It is about me, of course. It's nice to have people have some interest in my story, but I'm here and sticking here because of family memories. And I want to include that trail that we were on, you know, that we've been on as a family, coming from North Carolina and Texas and Hawaii, and all ending up here. And all having an extreme love for the place and always wanting to come back. I'm one of the last ones in my immediate family who still lives in San Francisco. And but I would like to include them all as part of the quilt because I think they are part of my growing up, they're part of my family history, so I want that to be added. So that's what I'm attempting to do.
I'm gonna add some pictures of my family, some who were actually born here. They're no longer with us, but I thought that would be in the memory of them to add their pictures and maybe some word panels. Just thoughts about them, of what happens when I think about them, the different things that I think about, things that were inspired by them, which includes me, because my life here, my continued being here in a way is a tribute to the work that they did to build this community and be a part of this community.
I have added to the quilt that I am a crafter. I enjoy doing what I do, and I love peace and happiness and joy in my life and sharing with other people.
I have several things in my mind. I'm using pictures cut out and stuff, and commute for one thing. The commute, I have a picture of the freeway, stuff like that. And I would like to add more words, more communication words that I think people could use.
My name is William Rhodes. I am an artist in San Francisco, California, and I've had the privilege to do a intergenerational project which is called the Knotted Community Quilt Project, and at the lovely Booker T. Washington Community Center. I've been working here for several months to complete this project, where I had seniors from the community and also young people each take a fabric square. They painted, embellished it, and they were able to include their history on each square. And then we tied everything together to produce a larger quilt. And then we also have a sewn quilt. But I was invited by Shakira, who has just supported me in so many ways with this project. And Shakira, can you tell us something about yourself or about the Booker T. Washington Center, Community Center?
Of course. Thank you so much, William. It's phenomenal to have you here, always in this space. I'm Shakira Simley. I'm the Executive Director here at the Booker T. Washington Community Service Center. And Booker T is San Francisco's oldest Black-led and Black-serving organization. It's 103 years old. Mm. And over that history, a lot of the blood, sweat, tears, hard work of 13 generations of Black San Franciscans has built this space. So there's a long legacy and history here. And we wanted to have you come in as our community storyteller, as a great artist, to bring our youth, our seniors and families to tell the story of the Fillmore and have a visual representation of that. A little bit about me. So I'm our executive director. I've lived in San Francisco for about 15 years now. I'm originally from Harlem, New York. That's where I grew up. And my grandma was a Black Panther. My mom was a social worker. So I've always had a call or expectation in my family to support our community, especially our Black community. And I've done a lot of different work in community, from working at City Hall to working for a small business to now being here at Booker T, which makes me really happy because I'm an organizer at heart. And our goal here at Booker T is for folks to walk through one door. And one door, and you can get access to housing, to an amazing meal, educational opportunities, free childcare, or so that our seniors can grow old with dignity. And that's what we do here. And we're so excited about this project because we feel like it brings together our mission and all of our values here at Booker T. And the literal hands that made these quilts are folks who have been connected to the center, some for decades. So it's really special. And I feel really proud to be able to support community and to be able to work with you.
Thank you. Now, you're here day to day, so you actually interact with many of the seniors and the young people who were a part of the project. Did you get any feedback or any feelings on what they felt or what their thoughts were with, adding to the quilt?
Yes. For our seniors and for our elders, it was a time for them to just come together, to relax. There were stories that are told within the quilt, but then there's also the stories that they told amongst each other. There was the memories that they shared. There was the intentional representation that they wanted, like, I gotta make sure this is on this quilt or on this square, which I really appreciated. And they, the pandemic has been so rough on our elders. Being able to get out of the house, have some place to be, where you're warmly welcomed, and you have something to do and a sense of purpose, and you be able to, break bread with a neighbor. I think that's also been really powerful about this. And it seems so small, but it really came together really beautifully. And for our young folks, I think that they love the creative aspect of it. And also it was important for us to talk to them about the history of quilting in the Black community and the African American community, especially as it came from the South, and how we've been quilting for, centuries, right? To tell our stories and how they're carrying on a long tradition. And also our kids like to see themselves reflected on our walls. As you can tell in the space, it's very vibrant and very kid-centered. So I feel so excited about how the quilts was able to bring community together to complete something, but also just bring us back after a really rough, few years where we've been socially isolated and socially distant. So I think that was probably for me the most powerful part of this project.
Now, the first time I met you, I absolutely had a feeling that you are a visionary, and you definitely think long term when you're working with projects or with your vision of the center. Mm-hmm. So could you share with us, do you have any visions or any hopes or wishes for the vision of the center and where you'd like to see things go?
Absolutely, and thank you. That's very kind of you to say. My dream for Booker T is that it's around for another 100 years. I see myself as someone who shows up every day to do generational work. And every kid that we're able to mentor, every foster youth that we're able to house, every senior that we make sure that they're, we don't have a lot of time with them, but they can age with grace and dignity. Like, that is what's important. Not the politic, not the, community back and forth and crabs in a barrel stuff, but truly making sure that for Black San Francisco, this has always been a home for them. I'm hyper aware of that as a member of the community, but also as someone who moved here, and that I'm just a shepherd. And if I have the privilege of running this space and making it available for community, as a shepherd, I just lead and hold space so that over 100-year legacy can live on. My hope is that it's not just one Booker T, that we can grow and expand as an anchor institution in San Francisco, because Black San Francisco should take up more space in this city after being evicted and pushed out, and the basically economic and social genocide that's happened in the Fillmore and Bayview. And my also goal is to work with other Black leaders to make sure that all of our Black-led spaces and institutions are still here, like full stop. And we need physical buildings and land. Like, you cannot do this work unless you have a home. And this is a home. This is a home. So that's my dream for Booker T. Also, a lot of the work is also led by community. Our elders are very vocal and have lots of opinions about how things should be done, and I listen. Same thing with our kids, you know? So there's a lot of deep listening, I think, that happens to make sure that we're on the right track. So it doesn't just come from me.
And last question, are there any final words or anything that you'd like to really say to the youth of the community and even the seniors of this community?
That's a great question. Well, I tell folks we need everybody everywhere. And it's important to see Black people in all walks of life, to support each other, and to show up for one another. And I feel like it's an honor to be Black. It's an honor to carry this legacy, no matter what society tells you about yourself. Our lives matter. And, you know, I want to make sure that, like I said, Booker T is here for the next 100 or 200 years, and that our community has everything it needs, not to just survive, but to actually thrive. And if I'm able to do that, then I'll be happy. But I still got some more time, hopefully. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.